wonderful world of Disney.
Hello, and welcome to My Disney Brain podcast. Today is July the 27th. July's almost done. And this is our 13th podcast. So welcome to episode number 13. We've got a lot of good information for you today. There's a lot happening in the news. And I've seen The Lion King, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that today. No spoilers or anything like that, but I did want to kind of share some of the thoughts that I had, similar to when I talked to you about Aladdin. So, yeah. So welcome aboard. Of course, here at My Disney Brain podcast, we take a brown-eyed perspective on all things Disney. You can find us on Instagram at MyDisneyBrain, BRAIN. Of course, Facebook as well. Same. Like us there. Follow us on Instagram. And most of all, I'd ask you to please not only go to our website, but share our podcast and website with a friend. If you are enjoying this podcast, and it looks like a number of you are, again, as I check the numbers each week, they're going up and up and up, and that's always a good thing. We're going to really launch into a marketing campaign starting this week, and it starts with you. So word of mouth is always the best marketing from my advantage. So if you would share our content, if you are enjoying it, just, shoot a link, share it with your friends, ask them to take a watch or a look, go to our website, certainly subscribe. You can go to MyDisneyBrain, BRAIN.com. There's a lot of good content and information on our website. And the website is important because most, if not all, of what we discuss here on the podcast, you can also find on a blog post there on our website. So along with updates, news, and more, our blog posts are very, very informational and meant to add some value here to your planning of your upcoming Walt Disney World vacation. Now, if you didn't want to do all that and you just want to send me an email, that's fine as well. My email is Kelly, Kelly, at MyDisneyBrain.com. Kelly, Kelly, at MyDisneyBrain, BRAIN.com. Shoot me an email. You can ask questions, suggest show topics, or just say how much you are enjoying the show. We are always thankful to hear from our listeners. I am running solo today, so I'm certainly glad that you have joined us today. A little bit of a hiatus. I may talk a little bit about that during this podcast today. My family and I took a road trip. We live in Atlanta, and we went up to New York for family reunion to see some folks, and we had a few stops on the way, educational and family and otherwise. And it was really great. It was really, really great. So, of course, I'm glad to be home and back with you guys. But I may talk to you a little bit about that road trip. Maybe it'll add some value as well in terms of some things that you're thinking about doing. So, guys, let's just go ahead and get started. We do have a lot of news stories today. I'm going to go ahead and send you over here to Sounds of the Park. I'll see you on the other side.
The Festival of the Lion King.
Amari, welcome. We have been expecting you. We are here today to welcome you one and all to the Festival of the Lion King.
We are the humble and proud.
Welcome to our world. In this land, welcome to our world. We are a band of singers who travel with Simba and his friends throughout the land in this tribal celebration. Time for introductions. My name is Kume. I am the leader of this group. Kume is Swahili for masculine and strong. What do you think? And next we have Nakawa. which is Swahili for good looking.
Hey, good looking.
And this is Habibi, which means impatient.
It means princess.
And finally we have Swahili,
which is Swahili for the gift.
the gift.
The gift. And if you want to stay good looking, you best back off that attitude, mister. Besides, this gentleman over here thinks I'm the gift, don't you, baby? What's your name?
Richard.
Ooh, Richard. I think that's Swahili for you. It's my lucky day.
Everyone, Simba and the gang will be arriving here any minute, and we want to make them feel welcome when they get here, so we're gonna need your help.
And since this is the animal kingdom, and we are surrounded by animals, and Simba and the gang are animals, we should greet them like...
So to start our Beastly Pep Rally, each of us will lead one of the 4 animal sections. Let's see. Yes, I'll take the elephants.
I'll take the giraffes.
I'll take the lions.
And I'll take the warthog. Now, you're going to help me take this warthog section, aren't you, darling? All right. All right, again. Listen up, we got Richard here who's going to help us demonstrate the sound that we as fellow warthogs will make. You put your fingers up to your face to be your tusks, and now make a warthog sound. Oh, honey, do you need a tissue? All right, warthogs, let's get those tusks up in the air. On the count of 3, let's hear what you can do. 1, 2, 3. That's the most disgusting sound I've ever heard. I love it.
Alrighty, everyone. I've got my new friend Karina, and she's gonna help me demonstrate and give you guys her best lion imitation. Alright, Karina, let me see those paws up. But let's hear that roar. Ah! Ferocious! Alright, turn around this way. You're gonna help me do the rest of the section. Lions, you get the idea. Let me see those paws up. And on the count of 3, let me see those lions. 1, 2, 3. Now that's a lion.
Time for the elephants. I have Zach here all the way from Texas. All right, Zach, you're our leader. Get that arm up. Let's see this trunk. Now let's hear the call. That's an elephant we will never forget. Turn around with you, Zach. Everyone, arms up. And on the count of 3, let's trumpet triumphant. 1, 2, 3. A mighty pachyderm.
Okay, my turn. I'm next. Everyone, this is my new friend Hannah, and she's gonna demonstrate for us the sound that a giraffe makes. Ready, Hannah? Giraffe, go! Giraffe, go! You don't know? Guess what, Hannah? I didn't know either, but I looked it up and it said a low bleating sound, kind of like a sheep. You know the sound that a sheep makes, Hannah? Yes? Okay, ready, giraffe, go! We'll take it! Great job! Stay here with nature now, Miss Sarah. We're gonna keep the others, okay? All right, giraffes, let me see those next. High in the air and bleat back. And there you have giraffes.
Very well, then. Now that you know your animal sounds, I think we're all set. Watch us. We'll make sure you're cued and ready to go.
Hey, everyone. I think I hear them coming.
Wonderful. Right on time. Right on the count of 3, let's use those sounds to call them in. All together. 1, 2, 3. Everyone, listen. It is time.
everyone. It's me, Simba. You've all picked a very special day to visit. You see, today, we've come to town for a big celebration, and you, my friends, are invited to join in the fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to clap your paws, stomp your hooves, and ruffle your feathers as we welcome you all to the Festival of the Lion King. Let the procession begin!
The show can begin. Hey, what are you doing? Slow down, slow down! I'm supposed to be center stage! Who's driving this thing?
All right, giraffes, we're first. On the count of 3, let's make some noise. 1, 2, 3.
Why? I'm in the sheep section?
I just can't wait to begin.
Hello? Hello? Look at me! I'm in a parade! Hey, tumble monkeys! Walk me over by the warthog section!
Alrighty, warthogs, let's get no tusk up. It's time for some starting. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Pumbaa, Timon. Am I in the right section?
Lion, let's show Simba he's in the right section and roar on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, it's the lion section, all right. Hey, guys, it looks like we're all here. Let's go! On the wings!
Here I come! Big star coming through! Big cat on the mission here! It's showtime! Alright, now move aside, fellas. That's enough, boys. Let's settle down! For the last time! Quiet! Thank you. Maestro, if you please. Hakuna Matata! What a wonderful phrase! Hakuna Matata! Ain't no passing craze! Hey, Hobo, what are you doing over there? I'm in the warthog section. Besides, my little legs can't make it down off this float. Oh, gee, that's too bad. Guess I gotta do a solo. Hakuna Matata! What's going on here? What are you primates doing? Put me down. Bad monkeys! Bad monkeys! Well, this stinks. Sorry. No, not you, Pumbaa. These monkeys, they're ruining my big number. But they're so cute. Cute? Look at them. They're picking bugs off each other. Boy, dirt. Come on, everybody. You know the words. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. Ain't no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. That's a motto. What's a motto? I don't know. What's a motto with you?
It's my hope that you are enjoying the content here on the podcast. I'll say it again. One of the things that I loved as I became a Disney fanatic is listening to different podcasts, listening and watching different vlogs and reading blogs. And I felt that it always kept me in contact with Disney, gave me my little Disney fix. But one of the things that I love the most is to see and hear folks broadcasting either live from the parks or vlogging from the park. So that's why we insert the sounds of the park each week, and I hope you are enjoying it. We're going to go ahead and jump into our news this week, but I did want to tell you what we're going to talk about because I don't want anybody dropping out early. We have, for the last 4 or 5 weeks, within those 4 or 5 weeks, we discussed a few things. Number one, we talked about my favorite Disney park attractions. And then we went from Disney, let me start over since I'm sounding like a novice. Magic Kingdom. We started with Magic Kingdom with my favorite. I think I did 5 attractions for Magic Kingdom, my top 5 attractions for Magic Kingdom. And not only did we talk about the top attractions, but we talked about, specifics in terms of where the rides are located, what your requirements are in order to ensure that you can get on a ride in terms of height requirement and things like that. But in addition to that, we also provide you with a strategy in terms of what do we suggest? Do you need a fast pass? Do you just need to kind of hang out in the single rider line, things like that? So we're doing these top attractions, and we've done it for every park with the exception of Hollywood Studios. So this week, today, I'm going to talk to you about my top 3 to 5 attractions for Hollywood Studios. So that will be our main content for today after we get through the news. But before we get into our main content for today, we have a number of news stories. I am going to talk to you about Lion King. I did see it this week, and I do think it is a great movie. I thought it was really good. I'm going to give you some feedback and some more specifics in just 1 minute. But there are a number of news stories that are out that I want to kind of go over with you. Before I get into these, you can always find our news stories on our Facebook page. So just go to MyDisneyBrain on Facebook, and you should be able to link out to our Facebook page relatively seamlessly. All right, guys, so our first news story has to do, again, with Disney Plus. If you have been following us for the last few podcasts, this has come up a few times, and for those who don't know, Disney Plus is the streaming service that will be launching in November, and it is a Disney streaming service, so a la Hulu or Netflix or, Amazon Prime. Disney will be, launching its own Disney Plus streaming service. If you want to get caught up on that, kind of go back to a few of the podcasts, go back about 2 shows, and I think we kind of went really in detail as to how this came about and, the effects and so forth. The story today, I was really glad to see because it details how Disney Plus is going to work. If you recall, one of my concerns was because I am a streamer, I have Netflix, I have Hulu, and I have Amazon Prime, so of course I have Prime. My concern was I'm going to have to let one of these guys go. Not so much from a cost standpoint, but, that factors in, but it's just a whole lot of TV to watch. I can't watch 4 different streaming services, so I wanted to bring this article to your attention. Again, it's on our Facebook page if you want to read it in detail and kind of go over it from a macro standpoint. But it's good news for me. Disney is getting ready to enter the streaming game in a big, splashy way. This November, of course, as I mentioned, is called Disney Plus. The service is meant to be a direct competitor to Netflix, and it will feature a ton of high-dollar original programming such as The Mandalorian, a live-action Lady and the Tramp remake, and a slate of Marvel TV shows. This, of course, is all original content from Disney. To further assert their dominance over the industry, it's been revealed that Hulu will be offering Disney Plus as an add-on, which means the service will be even more accessible to potential subscribers, like you and I. But it also means that consumers have an important choice to make. Now, the news comes from Hulu Senior Vice President of Originals, a guy named Craig Eric, during the TCAs. Hulu already offers premium add-ons such as HBO and CBS and things like that. Just kind of a break here. I don't know how many of you guys are big-time CBS followers. I don't really watch CBS with the exception of two shows. Number one, Amazing Race. Number two, Big Brother. And those are the shows I think that CBS really capitalizes on, because those are always paid streaming services. You can't really see Big Brother, can't really see Amazing Race on YouTube and other places like that. They really hold that content close. So anyway, evidently Hulu was already offering premium add-ons like HBO for folks who want to watch Game of Thrones, CBS for folks who want to watch Big Brother, etc., etc. Essentially, what this means is those who already subscribe to Hulu can simply add another service onto their monthly bill. The content will then be made available via Hulu. So as opposed to adding additional streaming package, you can add on into your existing Hulu streaming package, which is good news. What will it cost? We already know that Disney Plus will be about $6.99 a month at the launch. Now, it's unclear at the present time if Disney will offer any kind of discount for bundling with Hulu. I hope they do. This is in discussions. Now, setting that aside, those who already subscribe to Hulu may find it more convenient to just tack on Disney Plus to their existing account. Of course. I already have Hulu. I think I would love Disney Plus, and I would like to be able to consolidate it. Yeah, add it in as an add-on. Instead of me paying $6.99 or $7 a month, whatever I'm paying with Hulu right now, charge me $9, and I'm good to go. However, that could be limiting Disney Plus. That could be limited. Disney Plus has been in the marketplace, hasn't even been in the marketplace yet. If the services interface is top-notch and worth having access to, it may be worth getting a separate subscription. I hope they don't go that route. So basically, guys, it looks like they're in discussions as relates to what to do with Disney Plus, and it seems as if the combining or the consolidating of services is certainly on the table. If not just initially, hopefully it's a long-term solution. As a subscriber, current subscriber to Hulu, and a potential subscriber to Disney Plus, someone who loves Disney content, I would prefer, as a consumer, that you consolidate them. Some of you who may not been keeping up, the reason Hulu's in the mix on this is because with the Fox and Marvel acquisition from Disney, Disney became the prime shareholder in Hulu, so they pretty much are running Hulu. That's why Hulu is being mentioned in this article along with Disney Plus. But like I said, go back to a few of the other podcasts and take a listen. We really went into detail as it relates to that. All right, guys, so our second news story has to do with Animal Kingdom, one of our favorite places. And the title reads, Celebrating Animal Care at Walt Disney World Resort. Now, this was a few days ago. This was today's the 20th. Well, this was yesterday. So sorry. Did you know it's National Zookeeper Week? Of course, I didn't know that. Now, at Disney, they like to use the opportunity to send a heartfelt thanks to many cast members who take care of Disney animals, who are also in the Science and Environmental Research Department at Walt Disney World Resort. One of the things that Disney Animal Care Team is doing is they're bringing a different set of skills and experience with them. These cast members are dedicated to the care of animals throughout Walt Disney World Resort. Now, we know that the majority of animals are located in Animal Kingdom, but there are a number of fish that are in Epcot as well. Caring for animals is a 24/7, 365 responsibility. The team works diligently to keep the well-being of each animal their number one priority. I'm not sure if you realize this or not, breaking away from the article a little bit, but even at Wilderness Lodge, if you've never stayed there, Wilderness Lodge has a pretty robust number of horses there that, obviously someone has to take care of, so there are animals in other places on Disney World property other than just Animal Kingdom. And of course, if you're at Magic Kingdom and you see the parades, or you're there to see the horse-drawn buggies down Main Street, these sorts of things, all of those are animals, of course, and there's a team of folks that are there to make sure the animals are well taken care of. Now, whether it's their diet or medical procedures, cleaning, their habitat, their barns, etc., training animals to participate in their own health care, or diving into pools or aquariums, each day is different. One thing remains a constant. They're passionate about what they do at Walt Disney World, and they're passionate about taking care of animals. So yesterday was the National Zookeeper last week was National Zookeeper Week, and Disney is celebrating that, and just wanted everyone to know that they're still doing everything that they can to make sure that at the top of the list, these guys are taking care of Disney's animals and appreciating the cast members who do so. Just thought it would be cool to kind of bring that to your attention, because a lot of folks are really sensitive as it relates to animals. Sometimes, when I was a kid, it didn't really obviously register with me. And the older I got, the more I kind of, you come to this level of understanding and consciousness, of course. When you see people mistreated, is one thing, but also you see animals, it's something to pay attention to. You see animals in the park and you wonder, are those guys taking care of those animals? You see them pulling cars. I'll give you a perfect example. I was telling you about the road trip that I recently came off of. I live in Atlanta. We ended up in a place called Ellenville, New York, and I made about 4 stops in between. So Charlotte, D.C., the Bronx, and then ended up in Ellenville. When we were in Central Park, there are a number of folks that are providing these tours around the park. And, of course, they have horse-drawn carriages. It's a little concerning. You look at the animals and you think, it's one of those deals where you hope that the horses are being well cared for and things like that. You don't want to mistreat animals. So I don't want to get too deep into it, but... so Disney is promoting their welfare for animals. All right, our next news story has to do with VIP pass holder perks currently added at Epcot. Are you a VIP Disney World annual pass holder? If so, you don't want to miss out on the VIP pass holder perks. Can help you make the most of your summer and your visits at Epcot. Reserve seating for an Out of This World concert series, of course, is outdoors. Pass holders can enjoy reserved seating on a first-come, first-served basis for concerts taking place from July the 29th through August the 28th. This is at America's Gardens Theater. Simply enter on the left side of the theater. That's the Japan side. and show your valid annual pass and photo ID for access to the annual pass holder section. So in the event that you're in the parks and you're in Epcot and you want to attend a concert, you have reserved seating for the Out of This World concert series. Again, this is from July the 29th through August the 18th. In addition to that, annual pass holders, VIP pass holders, perks, you can receive a 10% discount at Fife, I believe it is pronounced, F-I-F-E, and Drum, Fife and Drum, and Block and Hans. Pass holders will receive a 10% discount on non-discounted food and beverage item. So in other words, if it's already discounted, you're not going to double up. You can receive a 10% discount on non-discounted food items and beverages, including alcohol, at these locations from July 29th through August 18th. Pass holders must present their valid annual pass and photo ID to receive the discount. You must use non-cash payment methods, including credit and debit cards, in order to secure these particular discounts. And lastly, you can try a Secret Sunshine Seasons treat. Head to Sunshine Seasons inside the Land Pavilion. As for the annual pass holder secret treat, well, it's not a secret. You can see it in the photo. I'm going to post this on our Facebook page as well. This secret menu item will be available for purchase, again, the same dates, which are July 29th through July 29th through August the 28th while supplies last. Now, there's one last item here that you can take advantage of as an annual pass holder. You can get a complimentary sweet treat at Coral Reef Restaurant. So again, if you're in Epcot and you're at Coral Reef Restaurant, you can get a sweet treat. In addition to receiving a 10% discount at this dining location, the annual pass holders who dine at Coral Reef and purchase an adult entree from July 29th through I keep saying January for some reason, July 29th, it plainly says August 28th, you'll receive an exclusive complimentary dessert. I am going to post this again on our website so that you can, our Facebook page, so that you can take a look at it and kind of read through it. I think it's worth reviewing. July 29th through August 28th, all of these perks are taking place during the same time period. So annual pass holders went up, as we discussed about a week or so ago. So any perks, anything that Disney's giving back and giving away, I would say go get it. If you're in the parks, take advantage of it, because certainly you are paying for it. I found this next story to be a really cool sort of a twist on attending theme parks, and it's entitled "Been There, Haven't Done That," the Disney Animal Kingdom's theme park for Florida residents. So at Walt Disney World Resort, there's so much to see and do that you can experience something new each time you visit, especially when you're a Florida resident, this particular summer. Now, focusing on special discoveries at Animal Kingdom theme park, Florida residents can enjoy the magic of nature with animals and world-class entertainment for only $55 per day plus tax, a 4-day get your ears on ticket. Let me read that again so I can make it a little clearer for you. If you're a Florida resident, you can enjoy the magic of nature with animals and world-class entertainment for only $55 per day plus tax with a 4-day get your ears on ticket. Now, this 4-day get your ears on ticket is $219. $219. You start the adventure by celebrating the 25th anniversary of Disney's The Lion King. You check in at the Lion King, Festival of the Lion King. We've talked about the show before and how great it is. After that, you'll head over to Hakuna Matata Time Dance Party. You can dance along, of course, with some of your favorite characters like Timon and Rafiki. And, of course, I don't know if Puma's there, but certainly Timon and Rafiki's there. You can follow in the footsteps of Russell from Disney's Pixar film Up at the Wilderness Explorers Club. You can also earn your adventure badges around the park through self-guided activities such as animal observation and learning important wilderness skills. You can collect over 25 of these badges and earn the right to echo the Wilderness Explorer call. What else? So there's also a Kilimanjaro Safari tour at dusk. That's included in this particular ticket. And as you end the night, you'll do it, of course, at the Rivers of Light. We Are One celebration there. I think I kind of misread this initially. I thought it was cool because it was talking about some additional things that, a lot of times you go into the parks, there's so much to see. We kind of bypass the smaller things because everybody's trying to get to the flights of passage and, trying to see Navi River, and they're trying to do Expedition Everest, that some of the smaller things that we take for granted are pretty awesome also. So I thought as a Florida resident that this would be, some value to you, and still it may be. So here's what I recommend you do. Just take a look at the article, read through it. It has all the details there. I think if you live in Florida and you're close to the theme parks, you already have an advantage. So this may be of some value. Hopefully it will be. So, last 2 weeks, I've already started talking about Christmas. I never was a big Halloween fan. Maybe as a kid because I was getting candy. But until I started seeing Halloween the way that Disney celebrates, I've become a bigger and bigger Halloween person. So the two big holidays for me at Disney, of course, no-brainer, is Halloween and Disney. And the parks are already beginning to prepare for the holiday season. So our next news story talks about that. The season to book the ultimate holiday getaway for Walt Disney World Resort. I think this is true, and of course Disney thinks it's true. Walt Disney World Resort is the ultimate Christmas destination. This year you can get swept up in the holiday spirit. And the Ultimate Disney Christmas Package is available for booking starting today. This article is dated the 26th, so really it started yesterday. Actually, the 25th, started 2 days ago. You can go ahead and begin booking the Ultimate Disney Christmas Package. And that goes from December 21st to December 26th. You can book this through October 26th. So from July 25th up until October 26th, this particular package is open. You can enjoy the most wonderful time of year and the most magical place on earth with new festive entertainment and holiday decor at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park, the all-new Minnie's Wonderful Christmas Time fireworks at Magic Kingdom Park, the Epcot Festival Holidays presented by Advent Health, Sunset Seasons Greetings, and Jingle Bell Jingle Bam at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and there's much more. I will tell you, because I have spent Christmas at Disney World, it's awesome. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's awesome. You get to experience all the parks and their decor. Everything's arrayed in Christmas decor. The Christmas trees are out, the lights are up. It's really, really nice. Now you can experience all this seasonal fun with the Ultimate Disney Christmas Package. It includes a 5-night stay at a select Walt Disney World Resort. Again, the dates are the 21st of December through the 26th of December. So that's 4 days. 4 full days, rather. Technically it's 5 days, but you're going to be checking out on that 5th day. 4-day theme park tickets are included with this with the park hopper option and exclusive holiday experiences across all of Walt Disney World Resort. This includes the parks, this includes the resorts, etc. If you go into our Facebook page and take a look at the article, it breaks down by day some of the things that are available in terms of nighttime access to Disney's Animal Kingdom. You, of course, get to attend the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at Magic Kingdom, which is one of the more treasured and sought after events. That one is, like the Halloween after event, is very, very popular. And outside of Christmas Day, it's not done in the park. It's only a day after hours event. So that's something that I really enjoyed when we got a chance to see it. So take a look at this article. Again, it's on our Facebook page. And if you're going to be at Walt Disney World during Christmas and you think that this is a way that you want to celebrate the holidays, take advantage of this booking. And let's just, hopefully it'll work for you. Now, Disneyland Resort is also beginning its Christmas preparation for 2019 holiday season, and it's beginning on November the 8th. So I think you'll remember a few podcasts ago I began to talk to you about how Disney begins to prepare the parks for holidays, particularly Christmas, and they do it in November. And one of the reasons why I love going the time of year that I go is because the Christmas trees are already up. We get to experience Christmas in the parks in November without all of the crowds that December brings. So the Disneyland Resort will once again transform into the merriest place on earth as guests begin for the holiday season November the 8th through January the 6th. The festive season will include many holiday traditions, including cheerful entertainment, Yuletide treats, specialty merchandise, sparkling decor, and seasonal transformation of selected attractions. Disney's California Adventure, World of Color, Season of Light will dazzle with its holiday-themed Spectacular of Light. Spectacular of Lights, that's the way it reads. It doesn't sound right, but Spectacular of Lights. Lasers, water, fire, and hundreds of fountains bring animation to life. Festival Holiday returns, bringing the spirit of season to life through the sight, sounds, and taste of Christmas, Navidad, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Three Kings Day. This is January 3rd through the 6th. For the residents of Cars Land, two attractions rely on holiday magic to transform into Luigi's Joy to the World, WHIRL, and Mater's Jingle Jamboree. So not only is Disney World preparing for the holidays, but Disneyland is also prepared. So if you're listening to this and you're on the West Coast and Disneyland is your destination of choice as opposed to Disney World, check out the articles. And I'm sure Disneyland is just as beautiful as Disney World is when it comes to the holidays. All right, guys, so I said I was going to talk to you a little bit about The Lion King. I was really anticipating this since the first time I saw the trailer some months ago. And there were a number of things that I thought I'm really excited about this year with Disney, because there's still a few movies out there like Mulan and Maleficent and that I'm still really excited to see. But Lion King was at the top of my list because I'm a big Lion King fan, and we've been with Lion King the longest, if that makes sense. My oldest daughter, she grew up on Lion King. Lion King is her favorite movie, and it really was all of ours because we experienced it together, the animated version. So I went with my oldest daughter, I went with my youngest daughter, and I went with my wife. And we kind of all had the same response. We kind of gave it a B. No, not kind of. We gave it a B. Mind you, I would have liked it better. So here's what we were up against. I mentioned to you my, not really disdain, but my displeasure in seeing opening day movies and movies that are hot when they first come out. Not because I think the movie is going to be good or bad, or I think the movie is going to be bad, but because of having to share the space with other people. And what happens when you have to share space with people? They are, of course, unpredictable, but they can affect your experience. And so let's just say we were affected by a number of people at the viewing of The Lion King. In retrospect, I probably should have waited at least another week or so before going to see it. I will spare you the details of how we were affected, but just know that it was, we were being affected. So anyway, the reason I mention that is because I think that has a little bit to do with the way we rated the film. But overall, I was a little underwhelmed. I'm not going to say anything specific about the film because I'm certain there are people listening that haven't seen it. But I was a little underwhelmed. Here's some things that I liked about it. I really liked the cinematography. I really liked the graphics. All of that was superb. It was as if we were looking at real lions and real tigers and bears and all this kind of jazz. I really liked they didn't stick with the exact script from the animated version. Everything wasn't word for word, which is what we thought it was going to be. There were some times where they took some liberties, which I thought was great. And there were some times where the story and the graphics, everything just kind of came together. It really, I thought overall, I thought it was good. But I was expecting it to be great. And let me tell you what I mean. When I went to Aladdin, I don't know if I was expecting Aladdin to be great. I wanted it to be really good. I wanted it to be at least comparable to what the animated version was, particularly because Will was in it, and it's hard to, match up with Robin. I left Aladdin like, this was awesome. I mean, Aladdin was really, really well done. It exceeded my expectations. Lion King did not. It did not. I will tell you this. I don't ever really read movie reviews because that doesn't really affect me, if that makes sense. If you do, that's your deal. Go do what you do. Fine, have at it. I don't really read movie reviews because I have to see it for myself. If it's something I'm into, I'm going to like it, whether the review is good or not. It just doesn't matter to me. And I'll give you a perfect example. A lot of people think that the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are not very well done. They are my absolute favorite. I could watch them nonstop. Matter of fact, I watched some of Dead Man Tell No Tale today. So movie reviews don't really keep me from going or send me to the movie theater. So here's what I'll tell you. The overall grade that I gave and my family gave was a B. Is it worth going to see? Yes. Definitely worth going to see. I would suggest if you can see it in 3D, you're probably going to rate it better. If you can certainly see it in IMAX, that would be the best experience. Hopefully you don't have experience like we did where we were surrounded by kids and people talking and folks that are not interested in parenting. So hopefully you'll have a better experience than we did in terms of ambient noise that will help you, kind of focus on the movie. But I would suggest you go see it if you are at all curious about it. It is a good movie. It wasn't the best I've ever seen, and it did come in a little under what I had anticipated it being. So there's my review of The Lion King. this week I promised that we would get back into our, my top favorite attractions, and we have one other park to do. And I'm probably going to do this two ways. Well, no, I'm not going to even say that. I'm running solo today. I was hoping that my daughters would be here with me so that we can do it together like we did Animal Kingdom, because it's generated a lot of views, and it was fun for us to do. And it's easy for us to do because we sit around talking about this kind of stuff all the time. But I'm going to do mine for today. And if they decide they want to do theirs, and we may come back later on and have them do it. But I wanted to, because I've been on a hiatus the last week and been traveling, I really wanted to get some content out to you guys. And this is the next show topic. So here we are. So today, I want to talk to you about Disney Hollywood Studios and my top 3 attractions there. And as I always do, I anticipate perhaps there is someone in the audience that maybe has never been to Disney World, certainly has never been to Hollywood Studios. So I want all of us to be on the same footing. So my modus operandi is normally to kind of give us some background in terms of where we are and what we're doing before we get started on the actual attractions. And maybe you'll even learn something, because I like to do the research on a lot of the stuff that we are talking to you about. I don't know all of this stuff when I sit down and have these show ideas. I actually do the research because I try to provide you factual information. Of course, I will want to do that. But it's interesting to me, and it's a learning experience for me in many cases because I'm interested in this stuff. So, Disney Hollywood Studios. So the Hollywood Studios, if you had to think, is Hollywood Studios the 4th park or the 3rd park? Like, we know Magic Kingdom was first, and pretty much people who don't have a whole lot of Disney knowledge can figure out Epcot was second. But sometimes people think, I don't know, what came next? Was it Animal Kingdom? Was it Hollywood Studios? I don't remember. I wonder if you guys remember when Hollywood Studios was called Disney MGM Studios. I remember that. I remember when Hollywood Studios was MGM Studios, and when they had that elongated backstage tour that lasted for, 45 minutes or something ridiculous that's no longer there. So anyway, Hollywood Studios, of course, is a theme park at Walt Disney World, and it is not the 4th theme park. It is the 3rd theme park. It opened on May 1, 1989, and it opened under the name of Disney MGM Studios Theme Park, the 3rd of 4 theme parks built in Walt Disney World. Now, Disney's MGM, now Hollywood Studios, of course, is the smallest of the theme parks. It spans 135 acres, and the park is dedicated to the world of film, television, music, and theater. Some of the key concept providers and Imagineers were one of my favorite Imagineers who's passed on at this point, Marty Sklar, Randy Bright, and Michael Eisner. If you remember, Michael Eisner is a past CEO of Disney. But the park, of course, was put in place for the love of Hollywood and film and movies and music and theater to celebrate the golden age of Hollywood. Now, Disney's Hollywood Studios was initially developed as both a theme park, because a lot of people maybe don't know this, as a theme park, but also as a working production studio, similar to what takes place at Universal Studios in Orlando sometimes. Those studios are actually active. So although you have rides, you do have some studios there that they're shooting shows in. So Disney's Hollywood Studios is the same way. It has some active film and television production services, an animation facility branch, and a functioning backlot. Now, construction on the combined park and studio began in 1987. Of course, we said it opened in 1989, so it took about 2 years. It was accelerated when the construction of the similarly themed Universal Studios Florida began a few miles away. So they had to speed it up because they wanted to get to the marketplace before Universal did. So to increase public interest in the variety of film representation within the park, Disney entered into a licensing agreement with MGM, which stands for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, for the park's original name, That's where it was derived. The park's production facilities were removed throughout the 2000s, and many of the park's sound stages were retrofitted for new attractions and for guest use. So basically, they're not really using it as, live production anymore. The park's current name took its effect in 2008, and the removal of MGM brand was also done in 2008. In 2010, the park began to distance itself from the original studio backlot intention, and the new direction, for immersive theming and attraction development inspired by Hollywood stories. I mentioned the backlot tour during the MGM days. It was interesting. I don't want to divert because I'll get in a tangent, but for those of you who did the backlot tour. Now, I'm not talking about was it the same? The backlot tour that was very long, that you rode through the lots and you saw Walt's jet and these sorts of things. It was a nice tour, but it was a very long tour. Now, the park's icon was originally the Eiffel Tower from the park's opening in 2001. The park's original icon was an earful tower. Earful, Mickey ear, from the park's opening until 2001. Now, in 2001, the Sorcerer's Hat, a stylized version of the magical hat from Fantasia, was erected in the park's central hub. Neither of those things are there today. Today, I guess we don't really have... I guess we do. They call it the Chinese Theater, the central point, but I sort of prefer the Sorcerer's Hat. All right, so that's a little background on Hollywood Studios. And what I'd like to do is just kind of give you a feel for the layout of the park before I tell you what my favorite attractions are. So that way you'll know, where things are. So there's Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Epcot. They all have the hub and spoke design. So the center point, Magic Kingdom, of course, is Cinderella Castle. Center point, Animal Kingdom, of course, is Tree of Life. The center point for Epcot is not really the Spaceship Earth, because Spaceship Earth is at the front of the park. Although it's the icon, it's not really the centerpiece, because the park is really two parks. You have World Showcase as part of it. It's sort of a little different in and of itself, but easily navigated because of the lake. Hollywood Studios is sort of that way. Because the Eiffel Tower is no longer there, and because the Sorcerer's Hat no longer there, you have the Chinese Theater, which is right down Hollywood Boulevard, directly in front of you. That's sort of the center point. So let's use that as a reference as we talk about where the lands are today. Before I get into the attractions, here are the lands for Hollywood Studios. The first land is Hollywood Boulevard. And it is what it sounds like it is. It's inspired by the real Hollywood Boulevard. The goal here was to give people a sense of Hollywood. And on Hollywood Boulevard, there are Hollywood actors, there are the people of Hollywood. It's pretty neat, kind of like the people of Main Street at Magic Kingdom. So Hollywood Boulevard is where you will be when you first come into the park. And if you look straight down Hollywood Boulevard, you'll see the Chinese Theater, and you'll know you're on Hollywood Boulevard. Second part is Echo Lake. Now, Echo Lake was inspired by, evidently there's a similarly named neighborhood in Los Angeles. Is designed to mimic the California crazy form of architecture from Hollywood's golden age. Echo Lake includes 3 major attractions based on characters and films created by George Lucas and produced by Lucasfilm. So you have the Terminator, the 3D, I take that back. Star Wars, The Adventures Continue, 3D motion simulators in Echo Lake. Jedi Training, Trials of the Temple, also in Echo Lake. And then you have Indiana Jones, Epic Stunt Spectacular in Echo Lake. So it's sort of to your left when you come in. So Grand Avenue is another land. It's themed as a gentrified historic district inspired by a real location of the same name in downtown Los Angeles. The area is anchored by the Muppets 3D and 4D film attractions. So it's sort of in the back of the park, so beyond the Chinese Theater. So you have Pizza Rizzo back there. You have, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That's where all that stuff's going to be back there, new Toy Story and all that stuff. Well, actually, the new Toy Story land is a land in of itself. And, of course, it's inspired by Toy Story's, Pixar's Toy Story series. And Toy Story Land itself takes up 11 acres. So this is an addition to the park. So the park grew a little bit over the last 12 months. Animation Courtyard is home to attractions based on films and characters created by Walt Disney Animation. Its entrance is marked by a square studio arc. So if you're leaving the Chinese Theater, which used to be the Great Movie Ride, rest in peace because I loved it so much, when you come out and you go to if you're facing the entrance, you'll go to your left. If you're facing Chinese Theater, you'll go to the right. You'll see these big arch that says Studios. It's the Animation Courtyard. And so that's another land. Also, there's Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Boulevard is probably the most recognizable because that's where Tower of Terror is, Rock and Roller Coaster. You'll go down Sunset to go to Fantasia at the end of the night. So Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard are probably the most known areas of Hollywood studios. So now that we're a little familiar with the layout of the park, let me just jump into my top three. Wherein you probably had a difficult time guessing what my top rides were for Epcot, because Hollywood Studios is not very big and there are not a lot of attractions. You probably are not going to have as difficult of a time. But we'll try to be suspenseful anyway. So I have three, and I'll list them in order. So my top ride, or my top attraction, is at the end of Sunset Boulevard, and of course, it is Hollywood Tower of Terror. Before I tell you why this is my favorite at Hollywood Studios, I'll just tell you, when I was in Hollywood, I actually saw the hotel that this particular attraction is based on. And it's very similar. And we also rode Hollywood Tower of Terrors in, I think it was it was in California Adventure side of Disneyland while we were out there. So the Hollywood, or the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, located in Hollywood Studios here, Disney Hollywood Studios off of Sunset Boulevard, is my favorite attraction for the park. I like it because it's a dark ride. Again, back to the dark rides for me. I like all of the story associated with it. I grew up in the 80s, and in the 60s and 70s, there was Twilight Zone and these sorts of shows that were on. And while I was not deep into them, I can relate to them. And Tower of Terror, of course, and Twilight Zone are those sorts of stories that I sort of grew up with. It wasn't super scary, but it was, somewhat tantalizing, if you will. And of course, this is based on a television series from 1959 and 1964. Predates me, but it was still being shown in the late 70s, early 80s when I was growing up. Now, the ride or the attraction itself is very exhilarating. Another reason I like it. I was going to say in real life. In my day-to-day life, I don't really like elevators. I was stuck on an elevator when I was really young. I was about, 7, with a lot of people, and my grandmother was there with me, and it was not a good experience. And as a result, I think I became claustrophobic. Over the years, though, it doesn't bother me, but sometimes it does. You know what I mean? Like, some days you're good, but the other days it's like, I don't really want to deal with it today. So I'll give you an example. If I'm in a large hotel and there's a big elevator and it's fancy and all this kind of stuff, I don't have a problem. But if I'm in a parking garage and I'm on the elevator by myself and it's cement and all this kind of stuff, I get really close in. I rather just take the steps. But for the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, obviously a big ride vehicle, lots of people on, not concerned about getting stuck. The up and the downs is very exhilarating. There's no other ride like it in any of the other theme parks. And it's a staple of the park. I mean, it's kind of like going to Animal Kingdom and not getting on Kilimanjaro Safari. It's the whole reason you came. Hollywood, Tower of Terror, what else do you need to know? You're in Hollywood, Tower of Terror, you got to get on it. It's certainly a ride I would recommend for anyone going to Hollywood. Going to Hollywood Studios. If you're about to go on vacation and you're going down, I would say make sure that you get on. Now, the ride, again, the attraction is located on Sunset Boulevard. So when you come into Disney's Hollywood Studios, you're going to check in at the front, and you're going to be faced down Hollywood Boulevard. You're going to walk down Hollywood Boulevard, and your first right is going to be Sunset Boulevard. You're going to take Sunset all the way till it ends, and you will see Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. The park opens at 9 and closes at 9. So Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is going to be available for you, assuming it's not down, for that entire period. Do you need a fast pass? This is the question. Each time I'm at Hollywood Studios, it seems like it's getting harder and harder to get on just as standby. My standby times, I don't like to do standby longer than 30, 45 minutes, and 45 minutes being the max. I would say, given, or at least until Star Wars opens, if you go in, into September when Star Wars opens, everybody's going to be over there anyway. Yeah, you probably won't need a fast pass for anything other than stuff that's in Galaxy's Edge. So Rock and Roller Coaster, Twilight Zone, all this stuff probably be wide open. But if you went tomorrow and Star Wars is not open, people are trying to share the 4 or 5 big attractions that they currently have, then yeah, you're going to need a fast pass. You're going to need a fast pass. So if you don't want to wait, 60 minutes or 75 minutes, I suggest getting a fast pass. But let's talk about this. Who can get on? If you have little ones and they want to ride, they've got to be 40 inches or taller. The ride is a thrill ride. They're big drops, it's dark, and it's scary. It's not like a haunted house, but kind of. Kids, tweens, teens, and adults can ride. And again, I apologize for yawning. And then I would suggest that you do get a fast pass. Again, once Galaxy's Edge opens at Hollywood Studios, and just a side note, one of the things that I read about Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland is that literally the park looks empty until you get to Galaxy's Edge. Everybody's over there. It's kind of like when you go to Universal Studios and you're walking around and you're like, man, it's not a lot of people at the park today. And then you get over to Hogsmeade or you get over to, Harry Potter side, whatever, studios or adventures, whatever side you're in. It's like packed because that's where everybody wants to be. So just take that as some advice. If you go before end of September, I would go ahead and try to secure a fast pass. But it is a very thrilling ride, and it's certainly worth riding. So that was my first one, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. And just as a side note, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is used as the reflection background for one of my now favorite Christmas projection shows. If you haven't checked it out, I'm going to see if I can link one of the nicer vlogs to our Facebook page that shows the projection show for Christmas and off of Sunset. Is really awesome, guys. You got to see it. So check out the Facebook page. I'll put it up. All right. In the same neighborhood, off the same street, is my second favorite attraction. This attraction is likely top 3 as it relates to roller coaster, and it would depend on the person. So I love Expedition Everest. That's probably my favorite roller coaster in all of Walt Disney World. I really love Space Mountain, but I think it's more because of nostalgia. But if it comes down to just sheer being a roller coaster and, adrenaline pumping kind of deal, man, Rock and Roller Coaster is awesome. So Rock and Roller Coaster comes in as number 2 for me, my second favorite in all of Hollywood Studios. And so just from a location standpoint, if you come off of Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, when you come out and you head back down Sunset, right there to the right is Rock and Roller Coaster. You actually have to pass it to get to Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, so you can't miss it. It is a must ride. It is the only roller coaster in the park, so kids are going to want to get on it. And it is a fantastic roller coaster. The technology behind it, I spent some time researching it, the air pressure and the different systems they use to make sure the ride is, the speeds at takeoff, the smoothness of the ride, how it, the agility of the ride vehicle, everything is just really done well on this ride. The story, I don't know, it's not the greatest story. You're late for a meeting with Aerosmith, or you're going to a concert with them or something like that, and it's a stretch limousine and you get in it and they're trying to speed you to the concert. So, okay, great. The roller coaster, though, is awesome. It is similar to Space Mountain in that it is done in the dark. The difference is they're more, the music is, more heavy metal, of course, Aerosmith. And then there are, I don't even know what you would call them. They're sort of these, they're signs. They're like street signs. It's kind of like you're driving really fast through Hollywood at night and listening to music really loud in this very long and fast car. And it's one of my favorite. Now, I will share with you because I do have some quirks. Like the elevator, and this has always been this way for me. And the reason I'm sharing this is because some of you may share the same type of discomfort. I'll put it that way. I am not a huge fan of flying. I can do elevators, but I'm a little claustrophobic. I mean, when it comes down to it, it doesn't keep me from going places or doing things. I'll do it. I just won't like it. I don't have that type of fear where it's going to keep me from going to dinner if the diners on the restaurants on the 72nd floor. I've done that hundreds of times. But I prefer not to be strapped down in a ride vehicle, and that's what this does. So that thing that comes over your head that it latches you down and it keeps you in the chair. Oh, I don't like those things. I don't like those things at all. I don't like to feel like I'm strapped down to something. Now, mind you, I don't want to come flying out of it and be hurt either, but I also don't like the feeling of not being able to maneuver or get out if I want to. So the reason I mention that is because if you've never been on this attraction and you have a similar discomfort, then just be aware, count backwards from 10 or do whatever you need to do to get your mind right. But yeah, you do have that action that comes over your head and it kind of pins you in this seat for the duration of the ride. So who can ride? If you're bringing little people, they got to be 48 inches or taller. 48 inches or taller. Again, this is a thrill ride. It does have drops. It is fast, and the music's loud. You have these speakers right behind your head, and you're going through. It's loud, but it's cool. But it's loud. I know some kids don't like loud sounds and loud music. Just be advised that this is loud. So it's for kids, tweens, teens, and adults. And again, it's open the duration of the park from 9 to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And it is located off of Sunset. Again, your landmark is the Tower of Terror. So we just talked about how to get there. You walk into the park, you come down Hollywood Boulevard, you make your first right, and that puts you on Sunset. And you will actually have to pass Rock and Roller Coaster before you get to Tower of Terror. So they're right in the same area. So you can ride them both. Do you need a fast pass? Certainly. I would say yeah. Because this is the only roller coaster, your teenagers are obviously going to go straight to it. Have I been in the park where I haven't needed a fast pass to get on it? Yeah. Yes. But not many times. Not many times. As a matter of fact, the last time that I went, I chose not to go on the attraction because I didn't have a fast pass, and the wait time I thought was too much. I thought it was too much. I like it, but I didn't want to spend that amount of time. We had already waited in Toy Story Mania for quite a while, and I didn't want to do the same thing at Rock and Roller Coaster. This was an impromptu visit, so we didn't really have a lot of fast passes set up. So I didn't really want to stand that long. But anyway, if you do want to ride it, and I hope that you will because it is the only roller coaster there and it is pretty fantastic, I would suggest that you invest in a fast pass. Did you go upside down in Rock and Roller Coaster? I can't remember. I cannot. Isn't that crazy? I've ridden this attraction several times. I don't think you do. I don't think you do. It's not a complete answer, but I don't think you do. But what I will do is I'll check it out and I'll put it on the Facebook page. I know it's fast. I know there's a lot of, curves and dips and all this other kind of stuff, but I don't think you go upside down. There are corkscrews. There are a lot of that, but I don't think you go upside down. It's very exhilarating. If you like rock and roll, you like Aerosmith, this is up your alley. This is up your alley, so check it out. All right, so my next favorite, my last of the three, you again probably not going to be hard to guess this one. This was relatively new, and I've only been on this attraction a few times, but it's very fun. The queue's fun. The story is fun because we all love it. It's for kids and adults alike, and it's competitive. And I thought the attraction was really, really well done. This attraction is located in Toy Story Land, and it is Toy Story Mania. Toy Story Mania is like going to a pretty awesome kid's bedroom that's got a lot of toys. And you get to play all these games, and it's a competition. Toy Story Land now open, but Toy Story Mania, was part of Disney's Hollywood Studios for at least a few years, maybe 2 years before, or more, before Toy Story Land actually opened. And the last time we went, Toy Story Land was not open. Last time we went to Disney Hollywood Studios, Toy Story Land was not open. So Toy Story Land hasn't been open a full year yet. So my time to get back down, I got to get back over there. But I really liked it. I liked the ride vehicle. I liked the graphics. The only thing I didn't like was the wait. Because there are not a lot of attractions at the time that were open there in Hollywood Studios, every reasonable attraction that people want to get on, if you didn't have Fast Pass, everything was a long wait because everybody was sharing the four attractions. So anyway, I digress. So there's a 4D shooting game at Toy Story Mania. And of course, all your favorite characters from the Toy Story series are there, including Andy. The games change as you matriculate through the process, through the ride. It's pretty awesome. So if you're competitive, and you want to challenge someone, this is your ride. This is your attraction. It's sort of like Buzz Lightyear, but with more interactivity. More interactivity. It's like you're going to a carnival, and you're playing all the games at the carnival. So each different stop, there's a different type of game that you compete at. So the ride vehicle has your I was going to say gun, but it's not really a gun, but your firing mechanism and it changes depending on what game you're playing. So it could be loops, it could be water balloons, it could be tennis balls you're throwing. It's pretty fun. So I'm sure for folks who've been on it, they can agree that this is one of, and plus it's 3D. So you get your, 4D. So you get your 3D or 4D glasses. You wear those, and it's pretty exhilarating. And of course, it's competitive. So again, like I said, it's located in Toy Story Land's Toy Story Mania. This is cool because there are no height requirements. Everybody can participate. So even the small ones can get on. So there's no height requirement, no age requirement. You are to know that there is some spinning. The ride vehicle does spin. So from location to location, it spins you and puts you in front of your next competition. I didn't feel like it was anything drastic, but I don't know. Sometimes people have issues with, turning. So just know there's some spinning. The ride vehicle will spin. When is it available? All day. From the time the park opens to the time it closes. Will you need a fast pass? Of course. Of course. You're definitely going to need a fast pass. I would say, I would say if you certainly want to get on it and not wait more than an hour, I would say get a fast pass. I'm debating in my head because I'm thinking about all the things I would use a fast pass for, and I know like Slinky Dog is also an additional fast pass that you would probably want to utilize. So if you're going before Star Wars and you have to make a decision, I would certainly try to utilize a fast pass on Rock and Roller Coaster and Toy Story Mania. If you decide to do it on Tower of Terror, it's up to you, but Slinky Dog is still very popular. You may want to utilize your third fast pass there as opposed to Tower of Terror. You may be able to maneuver the single rider line at Tower of Terror and have some success. So anyway, the Toy Story Mania ride is my third favorite, and again, it is located in Toy Story Land. It is a very fantastic game. There are 5 fast-paced games that you can play. I was telling you that it kind of changes each time you get in front of the screen. One is called Ham and Eggs, where you fire hard-boiled eggs at the target, in the barnyard. The other one is called Rex and Trixie's Dino Darts. So you're tossing darts, and you're trying to pop balloons in front of a prehistoric volcano. The graphics are really good, too. The next game is called Green Army Men Shoot Camp. Now, you aim your baseballs at dinner plates. So you're throwing baseballs, and you're trying to break the plates on a firing range. The fourth game is called Buzz Lightyear's Flying Tossers, not saucers, but tossers. So you're trying to toss rings. So every time you pull back the little firing mechanism, instead of the baseballs coming out or the darts, now the tossing rings are going to come out, and you're trying to catch the little green aliens. And the last game is Woody's Rootin' Tootin' Shootin' Gallery. So you are shooting suction cup tipped darts at targets inspired by the Woody's Roundup TV show. So again, I'm going to put on our Facebook page the link so you can see what the ride vehicle looks like, and even read a little bit more about what some of the games are. And also, maybe it'll help you just to look at the map of the park so you can kind of situate yourself if this is your first time, and you'll know where to go when you get past security and get into Disney's Hollywood Studios. So that's my top 3 for Disney's Hollywood Studios. I did want to kind of talk to you about a kind of like a bonus. Well, it's not really a bonus because it's not there anymore, but I wanted to kind of pay homage to a ride, to an attraction that I thought, man, it was my absolute favorite attraction at Hollywood Studios. It was the quintessential Hollywood Studio ride. It was to Hollywood Studios what Kilimanjaro Safaris is to Animal Kingdom, what Spaceship Earth is to Epcot, and let's see for Magic Kingdom, and what the dark rides are for Magic Kingdom. It just spoke to that particular park, and I was really confused as to why this particular attraction was replaced. And if I'm being truthful, I'm a little concerned that the replacement for this attraction may not be as popular as the Imagineers thing. Hopefully not. But the attraction, if you haven't guessed it, I'm talking about is the Great Movie Ride. So the Great Movie Ride is all Hollywood. I mean, that's the whole essence behind the park. It's a tribute to Hollywood and film and all this other stuff. And if you've never been on the Great Movie Ride, it is what it sounds like. It goes through years and genres of different movies and actors and your favorites. I mean, from Clint Eastwood to your I was trying to think of when we first came into the ride. I can't think of the guy's name. It's driving me bananas. But anyway, just your more famous, your Casablancas and older. It kind of builds. It kind of takes you from, maybe the 30s, 40s, and then kind of brings you up until modern day. You got your favorites in there. Like I'll tell you, my favorite areas were of the Great Movie Ride. So first of all, you're in a great ride vehicle because it's just one of those deals where it's just really smooth, where you don't have to, there's no ups and downs and that sort of thing. You can just focus on the scenery around you. I was always comfortable in that ride vehicle. But it's like being on a movie set and you're going from scene to scene, from movie to movie. It was really awesome. So you went through Indiana Jones, which was one of my favorites growing up as a kid. And of course, Wizard of Oz. That set was like awesome. You got to see the Oompa Loompas, not the Oompa Loompas, but some of the, Yellow Brick Road. And it was just really great. It was really great. And for me, I really like movies. I grew up watching a lot of movies. I've produced independent film. I've shot independent film. I'm a big movie buff. And that particular attraction was my favorite. Even going into the attraction with some of the artifacts and history that were there in the Chinese theater, everything about that attraction was just awesome to me. And it was one of those attractions that, even though I'd been on it, every time I go, it was one of those things where I would always get on it. It's not one of those deals where I've seen it, you don't have to. Man, I would want to see it every time. Going through the Sigourney Weaver and the alien scene, or the Casablanca scene toward the end, or again, Wizard of Oz. Everything was so realistic, and you felt like you were part of the movie. And I hope that this new Mickey and Minnie's 2D adventure is going to be as popular as the Great Movie Ride was, because I sure miss it. It was the one attraction that I would always get on when I went to Hollywood Studios. So if it was still there, I would have named the Hollywood or the Great Movie Ride as my favorite attraction in Hollywood Studios, because it has always been that. It had always been that until it went away. So, guys, that's going to do it for me this week. We're going to pump out some additional content for you very, very soon, because, again, we were on a hiatus the last 10 days because of travel, but I am going to get you some more content soon. I really hope you enjoyed the podcast for today as much as I enjoyed doing it for you. I will reiterate and really need your help doing this. If you do like the content that we're providing, And because, we're just getting started. This is only our 13th podcast. We've got a lot of stuff that we're going to be bringing your way. We're just trying to make sure that we're providing good content and that we are, technically sound before we start doing some of these more adventurous type of broadcasts. But anyway, we could really use your help in word of mouth. If you do like the show, share it with a friend, a relative, and have them subscribe to our website, MyDisneyBrain.com, as well as follow us through whatever mechanism you're listening to the podcast on, because, iTunes is kind of doing this thing now. It's kind of, I guess it's going to Apple Music. But however you are listening to it, please share with your friends and your loved ones. I would certainly appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments about the show or even content suggestions, because we want to primarily be here to assist you as you plan for your upcoming Walt Disney World vacation. So if you have questions, feel free to email me at Kelly, Kelly, at MyDisneyBrain.com. I get people instant messaging me on Facebook or Instagram and say, hey, how can I save some money? What's the best way to save some money with a hotel, or what about the dining? Feel free. I'll give you as much information as I have, and if I don't know the answer to something, I will do some research and I'll provide as best and qualified an answer as I possibly can. That's what we're here for. So again, thank you for joining. This is our 13th podcast. We look forward to having you back soon for podcast number 14, where we will, jump into some more good Disney content. Every day on our Facebook page and on our blog, our website, news and updates regarding Disney are posted. So if you're interested, pop over every day. Take a look, see what's going on in the world of Disney, because we have the information there for you. It has been my pleasure to be with you today. I look forward to being with you next week. I hope you guys are having a great day and have a better week. God bless.